Square. I have one.
Okay.
This is a warm one I keep like right here just for showing, but I have
Absolutely.
two on right now. Yeah.
I do too. And I tell you, I don't know how many of you know people who suffer in agony with moving around with autoimmune. At the root of all disease is inflammation. And I had a lot of things going on because of it. And stress will kill you. And it was causing a lot of inflammation in my body. And it was making flare-ups in my autoimmunes. So what had happened was that I had run out of one of my favorites. And I had a flare-up of my condition, and I was in some extreme agony. So I knew the squares were coming, but I just didn't know when. And it just happened that I had to go see my primary doctor concerning an issue that I had, another challenge. And he was saying that the challenge that I had was causing a lot of the problems. So when I got home, the squares was there. And I was like, this is a primary time that I can sit over here and put this to the test. A lot of the problems. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I put the square on, it was crazy. And this may not happen to most people, but what happened to me, because I was in an immune response, I put the square on, and I put it on the back of my shoulder, and I'll tell you why about that in just a minute. But as soon as I put the square on, immediately I felt a sensation in my gut. And I thought that that was pretty interesting because of the immune response that I was having, because 80% of your immune system is found in your gut. And I was like, isn't that interesting? But it didn't stop there. It was going up into my epigastric region, right above the stomach, and working its way up into my chest. And I found that interesting. I didn't know if it was respiratory or if it was because of my my cell challenge that I had in my left breast. But I found it was really interesting that it went there to my chest. And I was like, I wasn't afraid. I wasn't scared. But I thought, let me just see what's going on. And I wrote down everything. And it then went over into my left shoulder. And I thought that that was pretty interesting because I had some really big challenges there where I couldn't sleep on my left side for almost 2 years. I had injured it somehow. I didn't know if it was frozen or if my rotator cuff was a problem and had a problem in there. But all I know is that it went there and it just kind of loosened up and everything was just loosening. And where my autoimmune presents a challenge to all the muscles and joints in my body, I found that I was really, really loose, really, really limber, and I was very, very flexible. Plus, I had more energy. Now, another thing that was a big thing for me that I found with the square, I had issues sleeping. It would take me a couple of hours just to get down into a good sleep. So if I woke up, I had to start that process all over again, and literally it would take me a couple of hours. And I found with the squares, I was able to go to sleep quickly, and I was able to dream in color, so I knew I was getting good REM sleep. And also, if I woke up for any reason, I was able to get back into my sleep very, very quickly, and I felt very rested when I got up. So I just feel like people just need to know about this. They are people looking for hope. There's an opioid crisis out there with the side effects. I mean, I used to be one. I used to be on, I don't know, can I say the medications I was on? I mean, I was on from anywhere between from Motrins to morphine and all in between with muscle relaxants and everything. I was on 2 Walmart bags full of medications, but I don't take anything now. I mean, I am pharmaceutical free and I feel really, really good. And I'm saying people need to know what they decide to do with the information we give them is so totally up to them, but they need to know that there's something out there that can help and can give you some relief. And we just provide a little bit of hope to people who are suffering and going through challenges.
Well, thank you for sharing your story. And I know that you and Al are really sharing the ZEJA message. So in closing, could you share a couple testimonials from some folks, maybe on your team or some customers just share some stories that you've seen just of other people and their results with the product.
We had a recent client that had difficulty moving because of discomfort or extreme discomfort and agony. And they went to our church and was struggling, just struggling, trying to get into the building, had a struggle to sit down and to stand into, to get into a standing position from a sitting position. And 20 minutes after the square was applied, he was in much more relief. We had a person who suffered with anxiety, went to work after having the square, and their anxiety was reduced, and they were able to deal with normal situations and the stress of their jobs. We've had people who could not sleep, who are finding that they have better sleep. We hear that one a lot. So we're just finding that people who are suffering with a lot of challenges are finding that they can live a better life, a better quality of life, without having the side effects from a lot of pharmaceuticals, or can cut down.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for sharing tonight, Cheryl, your story and the other results you're seeing around too. We appreciate your time. I'm going to stop recording real quick.
Thank you, TV.
Yeah, thank you.